We just need to understand that proper venues for putting on proper shows are expensive. I think it's pretty cool, and if I was there in New York, I would go and see it, but I'm not flying to New York to see it. That's too much. If there was a stream pay-per-view, now I'm watching. Phil, if you're watching, pay-per-view the stream. Cubing Clash, everyone. Big announcement from The Cubicle. Timon versus Yiheng live in New York. The young goat, Yiheng versus, he's hardly an old goat, but he's still goated. Timon Kolashinsky. March the 9th, 2:30, somewhere in New York. We're going to talk about the Super Weilong Prosta. It's going to happen. Cubing Clash, March 9th, 2:30, somewhere in New York. Tickets available here at thecubicle.com. So, Cubing Clash, Timon versus Yiheng at the Flushing Town Hall. Toilet vibes. Get ready for an electrifying head-to-head cubing showdown at Cubing Clash, New York. We invited speedcubing legends Yiheng Wang and Timon Kolashinsky to race in a 9-set, first to 5 sets head-to-head battle, complete with commentary and player interviews. Buy your tickets now and get close to the action. I love this idea. Love this idea. It's so cool. It's like pay-per-view boxing or wrestling or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's a proper cubing event. A proper exhibition style cubing pay-per-view event. Tickets, you can spend up to $200 US on a ticket. You can, the tickets start realistically, like the cheapest tickets are 55 US, 65 if you want to be up the front. There's the premium lounge, there's the balcony. There's a VIP ticket for $200 here. Only 28 tickets available. An exclusive care package with event merchandise. A VIP experience with top competitors. Meet, greet, get autographs, take photos, solve with Timon and Yiheng. Lunch included. Hello. They're going to feed you? I'd like to think they would for $200. And you're going to get shirt and dietaries. Yeah, okay, that sounds great. Click here to see a complete rundown of the VIP experience. I will. I haven't seen it yet. Our VIP experience begins on March 9th at 11. We recommend you arrive a bit early if you're unfamiliar with the area. When you arrive, you'll receive a VIP merch pack that includes a Cubing Clash t-shirt, 2 posters, a tote bag, and event stickers. Then we will allow everyone to get settled in, take photographs, and get autographs. Afterward, lunch will be provided where you can eat and continue to socialize with the competitors. Then we will have a VIP Q&A session where you can ask the competitors anything you like. Interpreters will be available to help communicate with Yiheng. Great. Love to hear that. Finally, we left some room in the schedule for all of our VIPs to race against the competitors. No way. That's pretty epic. VIP guests get early entry to avoid the crowds. Man, that's quite a VIP experience, actually. That's pretty cool. We're excited about this event and what it means for the future of speedcubing. Thank you for your interest, and we hope to see you there. Before I dive into the Before I dive into the chat and before I take a look at some of the feedback and before I perhaps compare it to some of the feedback of PSL, I don't know if I will. I don't know if I need to do that. But I'm excited for this because this is like literally speedcubing growing up. Like, we've got to a stage where we have 2 of our like top athletes. We're able to put on an incredible show, an incredible head-to-head with in a proper venue. And I think that's really cool. And I really hope it works. I really hope it fills out. I think it will. Most of you are thinking it's too expensive. It's probably not for you. It's for mums and dads of young cubers. You know what I mean? I think, probably. Do I think it's too expensive? I think you'd pay this to go and watch your favorite artist, right? You'd pay this much money to go and see your favorite musician. Okay? Geez, how much did I pay to go and see Tom York? Like, it was hundreds of dollars. I think it was about 200 New Zealand for a ticket, and that was just punter seats. My wife, I will say, did do an outstanding job of getting great seats. And we were right down the front in the center. And I think this is really exciting, and I think it represents pretty good value. Like, I think it's good value. Is it expensive? Again, just like with PSL, that depends on your own perspective. Whoa! I don't know what currency that is, but there's 200 of them from Coco's. Wanted to say thanks. You've been my main source of cubing news and rumors lately, and I'm so thankful for that. Hey, no worries. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So Cubing Clash. Yeah, super exciting. What? Wrong button. I got flustered. Let's have a look at what the chat are saying. All right, what's everyone saying? What's everyone saying? Oh, inevitably, people saying tickets cost so much. Well, no, you're not saying tickets cost too much in Iron. You're saying they cost so much. They do cost a lot. Personally, if I was in New York, I would pay 100%. I would go and watch this if it was in my area. Hell yes, I would. They're obviously flying Yiheng over. And they're obviously paying for a venue in New York. Venues in New York are hella expensive. They're obviously paying the competitors a good whack. They have to pay the competitors a good whack to hang out with you dorks. You know what I mean? If they've got to hang out with you and have lunch with you and race you all, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. I would imagine that Timon and Yiheng are getting paid well for this, because they should be getting paid well for this, because we should be paying our athletes well for this stuff. So I don't have a problem with the price. Without having seen the budget, I don't have a problem with the price. Whether or not it's expensive is up to your own interpretation. But I think it is a very, very exciting and interesting event. And Iron's coming in saying $20 would be a good ticket price. I mean, realistically, renting a venue like that, renting a theater, you're not going to cover it with $20 a seat. That's not going to happen. So to me, it seems reasonable to you, but to me, I think that is completely unreasonable. Wild Scary Fox saying too expensive as well. Yeah, I mean, that's subjective. I would go. Proshta, I would go if I were in the US. This isn't two of the top cubers. They're the top. It's super value. That's I think, a valid take as well. Wild Scary Fox, I did see your message about the Big Cube Discord. Maybe I'll jump in there later and have a look. I think VIP is priced pretty fairly, Wild Scary Fox. I would say that as well. I think 200 for the amount of value you're getting is pretty good. It's pretty good there. Now, here's a question for you. Okay, and this is going back to the video I made about the Cubers friends' reaction to the Cubix's friends' reaction to the PSL pricing. Does paying 60 US, 65 US to see a show, does that represent better value than paying to be in the PSL, where you get to see a show and compete, and I guess have your convention as well? That would be my question that I would pose to you. James, the only thing I think is unfortunate about this is that Yiheng will just clear, in my opinion. I think Timon's gonna have a hard time. I think that's valid. I think that's valid feedback. It's gonna be a fairly clean sweep. Coco's, that's my point. If you think how much other events like concerts or sports take, it's not that much. You reckon? I mean, if I want to go and watch the rugby, I'm paying that much. I don't think. I think the price. This is just something that we, as speedcubers, as cubing grows up, we just need to understand that proper venues for putting on proper shows are expensive as. And if we want our athletes to come and be part of these shows, if they want to be plonked up on a stage by themselves and have everyone gawking at them, which is not really why they got into this game. These people are not performers. These people are not artists. They are athletes, but in a way that they are trained and bred to compete with each other, but not to be put on a stage and shown off. So this is new, and they need to be compensated for that. The venue needs to be paid for, and this is entertainment. This is cubing as entertainment. And I think if this is to go on, then we are, as a community, going to have to get used to it. And I think also, there's proof of concept for this. I did actually get involved in the comments in Cubix's Friends about it. I feel like the Tingman show, which was, I wouldn't have gone and seen that because that wasn't for me. That was something that was for much more younger people. But I think the Cubicle, in a sense, tested the market with that. It was in a relatively small venue. It was like a church hall or something like that. So it wasn't nearly as expensive to put on as this one. But I think they tested the market for a live cubing show. And they've taken that and they've gone, all right, let's put the two of the best, like two of the very best, on stage and see if people will pay for that. I think that this is the start of something cool and potentially the start of something big. Everyone's going to have their opinions about it, and you're all welcome to have your opinions about it. Of course, I think it's pretty cool, and if I was there in New York, I would go and see it, but I'm not flying to New York to see it. That's too much. That's too much for me. That's where I draw the line. And I think, especially for some of the people in New Zealand in the chat right now as well, this is almost impossible for us to comprehend. Like, nobody, because we have such ready access to all of the cubers in the country at competitions, this wouldn't work in New Zealand. I will 100% give you that. This would not work in New Zealand. But in New York, with two of the best in the world, I think it will, and I hope it will. So that's that, hey? Plus, the advantage it has over PSL is that it's a guaranteed matchup people want to see. Yeah, true. You know exactly what you're getting. This is actually a good segue. Just Coco here. Yeah, there weren't much paid events in terms of cubing yet. Not sure why people expected it to be cheap. I don't want to go down that line because I'll just end up sounding like a bad person. Shubham Maharana bringing up a very valid point. And James as well. Yeah. Cube Clash. If there was a stream pay-per-view, now I'm watching. Phil, if you're watching, pay-per-view the stream. I know they're filming and they're going to release a video after the fact. But I would pay to stream it. But the disadvantage of that, everyone, is by making it a live stream, and I think this is probably what they've figured out. If you make it a pay-per-view live stream, unfortunately, you probably hurt your potential market for real-life tickets. Would you say? Because then New Yorkers, hey, I'm cubing here, they would maybe just stream it instead. I don't know how price sensitive New York cubers are for events. But I feel like if I was in New York and I could afford it, I would go and watch it and be part of the live audience, So, I can see why they maybe wouldn't want to pay-per-view live stream it. They potentially would be cannibalizing their live audience, Right, anyway, let's review the submissions. Oh, Shabam, you got me. Announced the pay-per-view really late then. Not a bad strat. That's a good idea. Let's keep an eye out for that. Maybe there'll be a late pay-per-view announcement. I would like that. I would enjoy that, actually. Oh no, pay-per-view wouldn't. Sorry, James. I wasn't suggesting that pay-per-view would replace the VIP part. The VIP part's going to sell. I think you're not. That's not one of ours. You know, that's not a 1-for-1. But your regular tickets, your regular stalls tickets, would be potentially threatened by pay-per-view. But I like Shabam's thinking there. Just release the pay-per-view late. But then even if they do Shabam, that hurts the ticket sales for the next one potentially, depending on how good it is. I don't know.